All right, welcome everyone into the Hooley Brothers Podcast, episode 39. I'm pretty sure, Mike, you can fact check me. It's been a rough week. Uh, Hopping on here, my Zoom acting up. I can't see Mike. He can see me though. I guess everyone else should be able to see me. But yeah, again, ready to throw my Chromebook into the woods as I was just telling Mike. Everything kind of changed on me. But so we're playing a little bit. Not hurt, I guess. Just we got some things going against us here. We're in a bit of a penalty kill here. But I say that as we watch Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're going to lead with basketball, but I just want to make a quick note that the Lightning just pulled ahead 1-0, trying to wrap that up at home tonight. But yeah, well, first of all, Mike, how are you doing? I've had a stressful week, but how are things on your end?
Not bad. Luckily there's a lot of people out this week. It's kind of expected that things are going to be a little slow. Went in the office for the first time yesterday just to see a couple people like I've worked with, haven't met in person. So got the commute in yesterday, but I work from home day today, so kind of took till Wednesday to get back into my routine I've built up for the past year. So it was good. Back to the gym, cleared the head.
Yeah.
So good now.
Yeah, I don't know. I scheduled too much stuff for myself this week. I was off Friday, and yeah, I'm wall to wall stuff. So, but again, hey, I'm just trying to get to Friday again. We'll see. But yeah, again, I thought tonight would be a good time to get to do an episode between NBA Finals games 1 and 2. We obviously have the Cup going on right now, but again, kind of just a formality at this point because unless the Canadians pull off an epic comeback, it's going to be ending up in Tampa Bay for a second straight year. Again, we'll get to that in a bit here. But we did have Game 1 last night. I know we talked on Sunday, on the 4th of July on Sunday afternoon. And we had our finals matchup. We had a bit of predictions. I think depending on how Giannis was feeling, and he was able to go. I think it was funny because I think Monday night it got reported as doubtful. Then yesterday afternoon it got upgraded to questionable, and he went last night. And I guess we'll start there. He looked pretty healthy.
Is this like knee made of like vibranium or something? I don't know.
It's again, we're talking like post Spurs Toronto Kawhi healthy levels right there. He had, again, it's funny too because again everyone kind of goes to it, and obviously not being in a Game 7, not winning the game, being at the beginning, those are the same magnitude. But if they showed, I saw a side by side, frame by frame almost of the Durant block and the LeBron chase down. It was almost exactly the same thing. They started on the other end of the court, came from the same side of the court, and made that block. And I mean, yeah, like you said, it's something in there because his knee's looking quite healthy. But yeah, again, but the real story of the night, though, the Suns keep it going. They win Game 1, 118-105. It was a close first half. Then they kind of pulled away in the third quarter, but then the Bucks kept trying to cut the lead. I don't think they got it past about 7 or so. They couldn't quite close the gap, and Phoenix was able to close that one out.
Yeah, it was kind of a very, very slow start for Chris Paul, but then right around that third quarter, it was just Bud, man, refusing to switch, and it was just Chris Paul for the most time. Sometimes Devin Booker on either.
It took him a long time.
On either Brook Lopez or Bobby Portis. So like those two are the MVPs in Games 5 and 6 in the Atlanta series, but they kind of were exploited by guards. I mean, these guys that shouldn't be guarding, it's a mismatch for a reason. They just exploited it, and it was just Paul and Booker, especially Paul. So I think he finished with what, like 36 points, 32.
Paul, I think 32. I think.
Yeah,
I could be making that up. I feel like there was a game where he had 32 and Booker had like 27. Whether that was last night or not, I don't know. If my brain's just thinking of weird things, but I think that sounds right. But yeah, again, it took way too long to have an adjustment. I'm wondering if we're going to see more of that in Game 2. I didn't get away with, like, I just think you have to go more Giannis at the 5. Again, even if PJ's out there playing more of a 4 role, but I think that's just the only way it's going to quite work, because that's kind of where they were playing their best basketball. I mean, obviously, Phoenix was able to kind of come back, close the gap again, but it was a lot more even game when he was in there. You had a lot less of those awkward switches, like you were mentioning, either Brook Lopez or Bobby Portis having to guard Chris Paul, which is just a complete and utter mismatch. So, yeah, just a completely different story there when he was in. But Yeah, I mean, Chris Paul, hey, he showed out in his first finals game. I think the narrative's almost gone the other way now. I feel like people are giving Chris Paul credit for everything, and then people are calling that out, talking about how you know Book and Aiden were. But Chris Paul, between the closeout game last series and game one tonight, he's certainly showing he's not a sidecar to this ring. He's right at the front of it if they do get it.
Yeah, and then also, I know, like we're saying that they're probably going to play smaller, and I think that's what the Bucks have to do because when Lopez and Portis even were on the floor, they couldn't contain DeAndre Ayton. He had a nice, what was it, 20,
Right.
22 and 19. So like,
I have it. One steal from Chris Paul. Did you see that?
no. Oh yeah, yeah.
It was like late in the game. I think Aiden was about to get rebound number 20, and Chris Paul just like flew in out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, I did make that remark. I made that remark to Shane during the game. It was ridiculous. I hate it. I was like, oh, give him the 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was a little bit funny, but no, he was an absolute monster, and like it's almost at the point now where you kind of just have to take that as a loss, right? I mean, like Aiden's almost just gonna get his because, yeah, like again, he's an athletic big. He has the size and the speed, which is something that the other two don't quite have in Milwaukee. So you might just have to. And Giannis, I mean, no slouch on his part either. He had 17 rebounds. So you almost wonder, it's like, are you better off maybe maybe you'll lose a little bit more than you win with Giannis down low against Ayton in a rebound position. But I mean, it puts yourself in a much better position against Chris Paul, against Devin Booker. Not having a complete mismatch on a switch there. So I think that is going to be something they have to employ a lot more of. I don't think they'll go starting lineup there. I don't see them kind of. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Well, a key thing there is that they'll get very much helped out because it came out today that Dario Saric tore his ACL. So now the first big off the bench is Frank Kaminsky, and as much as I love Frank the Tank, you're like, it's a lot different for them out there. So like when Kaminsky is playing the five, like you can afford even size wise to have Giannis and Tucker to be your four.
Yeah,
and like
the other thing,
Portis and Tuck and Lopez are going to play their minutes, so just make sure they're lined up with every single time Ayton on the floor, and then
I don't know. It's funny though, Mike.
Have all of them off.
It's funny though, Mike, because you say that, but then Sarge only played 2 minutes last night, and Frank Kaminsky only played 4. So they clearly had other lineups built around that. I mean, Aiden played 39, which is a lot, but I mean, hey, it's the finals. It's not really crazy. They almost went with different lineups. Like we saw more Torrey Craig. I know he's a bit more of a forward there, but I think you'll see a lot more of him mixed in there. And then they're kind of just going smaller between Cam Johnson too. I think between the two of them, not that they don't already play, but I think they got a few more minutes maybe than they usually do.
Right.
So
sign up the rotation.
Again, I don't know if we'll be able to take advantage of. Yeah. I don't think we'll be able to take advantage of Kaminsky as much as the Bucks want there. So, no, but that's a good point. I mean, Sarge being out, that does kind of affect their depth there. Again, I still think they'll probably start Lopez. I don't know if you slide Connaughton in there and completely switch everything up. I think you'll see more minutes maybe from Connaughton and Forbes.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's a two-time MVP that wasn't playing in the first game here, but they went from playing 39 and 32 minutes to, I believe, 23 and 14 minutes, Lopez and Portis. I know that there was a lot of minutes available with Giannis being out.
Right.
That was a pretty big swing because they realized they had to get him off the floor after that third quarter because it was pretty even if you just look at the score in the fourth quarter. Yeah, the Bucks won by 3. And only ended up being a 15-point game.
They made the adjustment.
Pretty early in the fourth and late in the third, they were taking advantage of that mismatch. It was a lot of it was just a lot of bad defense. And once they went to the end of the game, they kind of kept themselves in because, like you said, it was a 20-point game. And at a certain point, they made a comeback, got it back down to 8 or so, led by a lot of Middleton shots. But yeah, that's definitely you can take that ending and be okay, we got the first punch from the Phoenix Suns. They've been waiting on their first home finals game for 27, 28 years at this point. So
yeah, for sure. And I think another thing to point out there is something that jumped out to me just kind of from, it didn't really seem like it in the flow of the game, but when you kind of looked at the stats at the end of it, the absolute, sorry about that. The absolute free throw discrepancy that happened in the game, and I'm not even saying it's a ref situation, just between opportunities, and then also you look to the execution of them too, because I think up until the very last free throw that DeAndre Ayton took, they were perfect. So
Jake Crowder,
get the numbers up now. Oh, Jay Crowder. Sorry about that.
They made the first 25. Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
It's the last. He finished the game with 1 point, going 0 of 8 shooting, and led the team in plus minus. Makes no sense.
I did see that. Yeah. Plus, oh my god, yeah, that was nuts. So the Bucks ended up 9 of 16 for free throws. The crazy thing about that is that Giannis had 12 of them. So Brook Lopez went 0 of 2, Drew went 2 of 2. So it's 2 trips there, and then Giannis went 7 of 12, which I mean, I guess for Giannis is terrible. But I mean, you're talking about 25 of 26 compared to 9 of 16. That's the difference right there. They lost by 13. That's what? Even just on made ones, that's a 16-point difference. So if you make, even though you had less of them, I guess so it's hard because they didn't go to the line as much, but it's just like that's where a huge difference in this game came in was at the free throw line.
Well, and even like early on, I feel like I noticed a lot in the first half how many times the Bucks were like had like not like easy layups, but layups themselves that they would just miss. It would get tipped on the hoop, missed, grabbed, shot up, tips in the hoop, missed. Like it seemed like they were like some possessions. There was just like a piano wire across the rim. It just wouldn't roll for him.
Yeah. For sure. No, again, they just like everything seemed to matter in this game. Obviously, you're going to need a little bit of a better outing from Drew Hooley here. Only 4 of 14, 0 of 4 from 3. Right, they had 9 assists, 7 rebounds. So I mean, close to a double, but I mean, kind of empty at that point.
Yeah, and with the amount of numbers that we saw that Paul and Booker and even like Campaign off the bench had some good scores. He wasn't really shutting down and the guard defense.
Yeah, again, that's the only thing I'll give the Bucks here. I mean, I actually maybe just because he might have started slow. I don't have like the quarter by quarter breakdown here, but Middleton was on fire in the fourth. I mean, he finished 12 of 26. I would have guessed even higher clip than that, just because it seemed like he was making everything in the fourth. But so that's obviously a good game there. But I mean, you had Giannis who looks good, but like wasn't maybe as dominant. Only took 11 shots in this game, and then Drew Holiday. Again, like I said, 4 of 14, Lopez and Portis exposed, and you were still kind of in the game late. So that's the only kind of silver lining here. If you're a Bucks fan, is that like you really didn't give it your best game here, and you got some good performances out of Phoenix, like you mentioned, Chris Paul, 12 of 19. I mean, not the best game out of Booker, but he made all those free throws as well, and then the monster game from Ayton, like we were talking about. So yeah, that's got to be your only hope there, is that you'll give it a better outing in game 2.
Yeah, I think they just need to match like the big three between Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday. Kind of just have to match the performances that the Phoenix big three is gonna put up. So they put up 81 last night. I mean, that's hard to do, but if they can like the three of them put up like 60 to 70, you can kind of see like, okay, we're in this a little more.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking up quick. That's 60 points out of the Bucks big three. So
yeah, I was gonna say like 70 is probably like more like it.
Yeah. I mean, and because I saw this on too, and you might have saw the same thing, but it's just like even like the off the bench, it just seems like even just going for like the top 3 here, even I could say you have Campaign, Cam Johnson, and Torrey Craig versus I'm ready to count Jeff T. Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, and Bryn Forbes. That's a much different threesome there. I think the Suns clearly have the edge off the bench. So if you're the Bucks, you got to win that big 3 matchup, kind of like you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Johnson's been incredible from 3. And Campaign seems to be the quickest guy.
Yeah.
He's out there, especially with he's not playing 30 minutes a night. He can keep his like energizer bunny like hops for like the 15 minutes he plays.
Yeah, for sure. And then another thing too that the Bucks I think are going to have to adjust to is it was mostly Chris Paul, but I saw a little bit out of Campaign too. Just the pickpockets. Not even it's right in front of their face. Like they'll just knock the ball out and go the other way. Like there were opportunities where I feel like the Bucks could cut maybe 4 or 5 points, and then it would quickly go the other way. Either again just right in front of their face, someone just poking it out, knocking it out above them and going the other way. So they're going to have to really be better at ball protection, I think, on the offensive end.
Yeah, 14 turnovers to 9 for the Bucks.
Yeah, and I want to see how many. Look at this steals. Actually, Booker had 3, so I didn't even think of him. I was
9 steals compared to 4.
Yeah, Payne had 1. Yeah, because that's the big one. It wasn't even just like throwing the ball away. It's just I feel like it happened a lot in the fourth too. It was just a lot of the balls getting knocked out of guys' hands. So that'll obviously be something that we'll have to look at there too. But yeah, Suns winning game 1 in the Valley. And yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping for a good series here. I know before I said Giannis Celtic Bucks in 7. Obviously, took a bit of a hit there, but yeah, I'm really hoping Milwaukee can steal game 2 to kind of make it a little bit more competitive as we head up to Milwaukee here. So obviously, a pretty entertaining game 1. It was close early on. Just yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that, like, of course I'm saying, like, oh, I like both these teams. I want a good series, but I guess like I definitely like the Suns a little bit more, just because I like Booker and Ayton. I'm like really big on them. So it's like, do I really want to be rooting for them to throw away games? Because looking back, being like, oh, like, if like remember watching game 2, you're like, oh, I guess I'm kind of pulled for the Clippers to make it a 1-1 series. But then, like, let's say the value didn't happen. Yeah. Clippers won game 2. That's a 2-1 Clippers lead, and who knows if the Suns are going home with the lead or not. So
that's true. No, I mean, I feel like in that, yeah, I feel like in that one though, like, I mean, they clearly, like, again, were without Kawhi. Whatever. I don't know. I might be on the other side of this. I mean, I just think, besides the whole Chris Paul aspect, which I do get and like is important, like this clearly is probably going to be his only chance. But other than that, because I'm like, oh, Booker and Ayton are still young. And I know we've talked about it before. You might not get back here again, but just like, I almost feel the same about Giannis. I do really like Giannis and Chris Middleton. Obviously, Drew too is like he's a fantastic number 3, I think, to have on a team. So I really like those guys too. Again, I'm not going to be upset either way, but yeah, I keep having this internal struggle about which team I'm rooting for. I almost feel like the Suns are like a little bit of a better team. The Bucks need these wins more, but we'll see. I think it should be hopefully a good series. That's the only. It's probably the only way I'd be disappointed is if we. I mean, Suns in 4 would be funny just because of the joke.
I was gonna say
if we got like Suns in 5.
I was gonna say 5 would be disappointing, but like I said, I said Suns in 6, well, or Bucks in 7, but
yeah,
I have 2 picks, so who cares?
So you said Bucks in 7 if Giannis was healthy, so we're both on that one. Assuming he doesn't get hurt again, which let's hope not. But yeah, so again, that's pretty much it for game 1. Again, could have been a little bit more exciting, but again, the Suns got a good effort. Chris Paul had a good effort here as we wait game 2 tomorrow.
I'm just gonna say 2 miscellaneous things, just notes in the game. Just one, of course, the Phoenix crowd looks amazing. I know they're saying just like the rush of getting into AC just makes it crazy. It's just like some of these
the most Arizona crowd I've ever seen.
Like, it's just the hair, the looks, like the tanks, like the jerseys. It's incredible.
Yeah, the long blonde hair. Yeah.
And 2, what did you watch Devin Booker's half court heave at the end of the half?
Yes.
So they had it with like 3.5 seconds.
I remember it happening.
Yeah, so there was 3.5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Side inbound. So Booker got the ball like kind of like right at the logo with like 3 seconds left, and they kind of just like built like a fence so you wouldn't get like too close to the rim.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically took one dribble, like planted his feet at the logo, like half court dead center with like 1.5 seconds left, and just pulled up, and it almost went in. And I'm like, I wonder why players like don't do that more often instead of like trying to get like a little bit closer and throwing up like a float.
As far as possible. Yeah.
Like if like I'm guessing,
I think
he probably like ends practice every day by taking like 10 of those like jump shots just from the half court dead center. So if they're just gonna like, I'm surprised that people are like, okay, like that's probably a better shot than like trying to gain like 5 feet and have it be like in motion with this like contest if he's just gonna be wide open like it's a practice gym. Like I would do that a lot more often if I had that.
I mean, you're gonna start seeing that more. I think I've already seen it out of like Steph and Dame. I mean, those guys are kind of the elite of the group right now. But yeah, I mean, like I noticed that too. I thought you were gonna go the other way. I think you were gonna say you shot it too early. I'm like, well, it was open, so yeah.
No. I sneaky loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. All right, so two good notes there. Yeah, the Arizona crowd is definitely hilarious. Did you see that one guy before we wrap this up? Like, okay, you live in Phoenix. You've been waiting to get back to the finals for years, and you get on TV behind Green, Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson, and you have a paper sign that says MJ greater than LeBron. That's really what you're going with? You're not going with anything Suns related?
Hey, no.
Anything like
lost them in the finals. Do you know who they lost to? Michael Jordan. Do you know who they beat?
I know.
LeBron James.
I mean, yeah, but still.
But the only reason we lost back then because Jordan's better than LeBron. We beat LeBron.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I'm not leading with that. I'm probably writing Suns in 4, or my Venmo, something else on there. I don't know. If I'm probably not having a sign in general. I mean, I'm not the type of person that brings them to games anymore, really. But yeah, I don't think that's what I'm leading with there. Maybe if I'm at a Bulls playoff game, yeah, sure, let's go for it. But
I mean, it is funny
yeah, just
when you pan into the crowd how many fours you just see.
how many? I know. It is. It's a movement for sure. But yeah, I think that should pretty much wrap up game 1. Again, we'll have more about game 2 on the weekend, because the game 3 is not till Sunday night. So we'll hopefully be on in some capacity before that. But yeah, again, we'll kind of keep an eye on that. I don't think there's really any other NBA news. I know the Olympic team is getting set over there. We saw 3 guys that are here, though. Again, we've talked about this before. I don't know what's going to happen if the series goes like 7. Are we going to send Milton, Holiday, and Book over there, or like what? We're going to have to have the alternate squad ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I did know that. I think Anthony Edwards, because he's on the reserve team, sprained his ankle today. So that stinks.
Okay.
And then
That does stink. Hopefully
I
it's not too
did
bad.
have 2 college basketball notes relating to the NBA draft.
Okay. Sure, let's hear them.
Both O'Banner and Asmus withdrew from the draft.
Oh, back at ORU?
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay.
I saw
like
Rothstein tweet that when I was waiting for you before. So
Nice. Okay, cool. I saw that for someone else earlier.
like Coffee might it was like came back and he might transfer to Kentucky.
No, it was
That's a thing.
someone else. Oh, Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, he's going back to Michigan.
Sorry. Okay, let's go back. What was that thing you said? Sorry.
Coffee Coburn.
I had to keep my brain hot.
Coffee Coburn.
Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. He might go to Kentucky?
Yeah, he might transfer. That's Kentucky's like a serious contender if he does transfer.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, no, I did see that. I did see that actually. Yeah, damn. Yeah. Get ready for some college hoops coming back up. But yeah, all right. I think this should wrap up basketball. We do have the Stanley Cup, Mike. I mean, it was kind of like easy to forget here when Tampa jumped out to that 3-0 lead. Montreal was able to win it. I believe it was overtime on Sunday, right?
Another quick one. Unbelievable to get that goal. It was Anderson on Montreal. It was an overtime.
Okay.
Had a center ice turnover, like a 2-on-1. Pass it to a guy who gave up a juicy rebound. And he just muscled his way for a putback. So unbelievable individual effort. Point at home. I mean, I don't think Tampa was too heartbroken. I mean, if they lose this one, they'll probably be shaking in their boots a little bit, but I think they're pretty confident they can close the 7.
Maybe they did win it at home.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned that before. Maybe they threw that game.
Pretty sure the mayor said.
Actually, they didn't. What did you say?
Pretty sure the mayor of Tampa told him to.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is that, okay, if I'm on that team, if I'm throwing the game, I'm not playing an extra frame there. I'm actually throwing the game early. But yeah, so again, they're leading 1-0 now after 2. We're at the second intermission now. Depending on how long this goes, we might have an ending here. If not, it'll be a little bit after the recording. But yeah, it just seems like one of those things. And it's funny too, because we were just talking about the Phoenix crowd. I just saw some clips of outside the Lightning game, and that's quite a crowd too. A lot of old ladies there that are big Bolts fans. So wearing some interesting blue wigs that are happening. So yeah, another interesting crowd down there.
Yeah,
it was one of these markets here.
Yeah, the Tampa Cups have kind of
I know, because what did they win in last year? Was that 5 or 6?
I think 6, but it was against Dallas in a bubble. So Tampa and Dallas playing in Canada, and then now it's in Tampa going to Montreal. They can't be. It's only limited to 3,000-5,000, and they're the worst team that barely snuck in. That's clearly just playing with house money. Kind of wish it was more of
yeah. Oh, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I feel like this would have a lot more to learn. I'd be watching more of the game. But it was Monday night. I'm I'm tired. They're either going to win in 4 and it's going to be a boring one, or okay, Montreal will just be prolonging their death. So I got I feel like back-to-back years I've gotten so into the playoffs and just immediately fall off. And it's not even correlated with the Bruins losing, because I kind of into that.
Yeah.
the Islander Tampa series, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I think if those results shook out a little bit differently, I think even if one of them went the other way, I think it would have been a little more interesting. But yeah, it just I don't know. I think we had a chain reaction of teams blowing it. Like everyone's like, "Oh, the Avalanche, they're unstoppable. Like it's going to be them in Tampa, like collision course." Then they lose to the Knights. Then it's like, well, if they beat them, now they have to play the Canadians who just stuck in the playoffs. It's like, oh, they should be in there, right? No. So we could have had two potential good matchups for the Lightning, and neither one of them quite close the gap.
Yeah, I'm like, if the Lightning's going to make out and the Bruins can, I hope we at least get either Colorado or Vegas to make it like a great, like on ice products. But now we just got effing Canadians. So
yeah, I do want to take a quick pause here. I just saw a commercial on NBC. Is that just like friendlies that are happening? I saw a commercial for like USA Nigeria basketball on Saturday. I'm assuming that's like a exhibition.
yeah, I mean they don't have a full roster, so
I know 9 guys. What are we doing?
some of the reserve guys will play.
But that's not even like good. Like that's like the select. It's very weird. Like there's like a huge gap in the middle that I feel like we could have pulled from. Like I know he wouldn't go over there because he's hurt. I know he's like like a Jaylen Brown type guy. You know what I mean? Like someone probably even like smart. I don't know. But anyway,
I was gonna say more smart. I feel like Jaylen would be like on like might even got an invite because of how well he played.
But that's almost like what I mean. The people who kind of just missed the cut there. You know what I mean? Like can we send some of those over? Like I remember when it was when Kevin Love got hurt in 2012, or someone got hurt anyway. They sent Anthony Davis over. Like I mean, granted he was a rookie, so it's a little bit closer to the select team situation. But
it was Blake.
I don't know.
I think it was Blake. Yeah.
I think you are. Yeah, I think you are right with Blake. But anyway, quick side where there. Yeah, that must be an exhibition because I'm pretty sure the Olympics start the 23rd. But yeah, just kind of wrap up here again. I think if Montreal somehow wins tonight, that will make it a little bit more compelling.
Yeah, it's kind of at a point where I'm like, if you're 4-6, call me. I'll watch that one.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it's like, all right, like you said, things get a little bit more interesting there. It's to game 6 going back to Montreal, and then that'd be different. But again, Tampa with a 1-0 lead in the second intermission here, and we'll keep an eye on that. And just like you said, kind of a boring cup. I really wish we got the matchup that we could have had either with Colorado or Vegas here. And I know we typically do save this to the end, Mike, but I do want to give a quick while we're on the sport here, quick RIP to Buckets goalie who had an unfortunate accident over the weekend and lost his life here.
Yeah, very sad story. You always got to be careful on the 4th of July. Between the hot weather, which requires you swimming, the fireworks, some accidents, and that's all combined probably underneath a lot of alcohol. So it's always got to be a little
right.
But
Mattis,
our prayers go to
I don't know if that's So again, just like a sad moment there. I was thinking of like again what else was happening in the hockey world. So I did want to shut that out real quick. So obviously a real sad moment there. But yeah, I think that should wrap things up for hockey again. Just like you said, not the most compelling series here. We'll obviously up to you if anything changes. And again, either by the end of tonight or maybe a quick note at the beginning of the next podcast, we might have our champion by then. So I think that about wraps it up. I think we should move on. Maybe just some how about baseball, Mike? And we're getting closer to the All-Star break here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You got me. Plays wrapping up on Sunday, so the week series wrapping up tomorrow. We're starting your bookend series. So start being on Friday will be the last series. Across will be before the All-Star break.
Right.
Yeah, to get the full roster. I know we
kind of a. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I know we're probably
get the full roster
on my whole Zoom situation. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the full roster on Sunday night, as we alluded to in the last pod. So I got that up if you want me to go through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main highlight there is we got the team up in Boston's leading the squad with 5 guys.
Yeah, so on top of the left side of the infield, we got our boy JD, of course Barnes, being probably the best reliever in the American League up there. And then this guy we all forgot about. I mean, going into the start today, he had a 3.4 ERA and was striking a lot of guys. Was Nasty Nathan Eovaldi getting his first All-Star appearance. He's even just looking across the starting pitchers. It's like, yeah, I guess he was kind of like belongs in this crew.
Yeah, no one really jumped off the page.
Yeah, because like even just like thinking about Cy Young right now, it's probably going to one of the White Sox between. Of course, I have a future on Giolito, but it's not going to be him. It's more of Carlos Rodon or Lance Lynn, because that while I'm at this, the starting staff is of course those two of all the Kyle Gibson from Texas, Yasushi Kikuchi from Seattle, and then Cole and Bieber. Bieber, who was on the IL, will probably get an injury replacement. And then in the bullpen, Matt Barnes, Liam Hendricks, Ryan Presley from Houston, and then Gregory Soto getting that Tigers representative. So, and then of course Aroldis Chapman. I don't know why he's on this team, seeing his play in the last month.
Yeah, jeez, I know.
I know I mentioned.
We started out kind of nasty, but still.
Yeah, I know I mentioned this game. This was so on Sunday. I said there was a doubleheader with the Mets between the Yankees and Mets. So I know you can't see it, but I'm going to show you on YouTube. It's that still image of Aroldis Chapman giving up yet another home run, this time to Pete Alonso. I know we were looking at the drink, so I showed you. It was just him like looking at it, like hands on head, like, oh, they give up another home run. So he's been absolutely putrid, him and Cole.
Yeah.
But I guess their numbers from before the spider tack scenario were good enough to get him on the team. And then quickly running through the reserves, the backup catcher is Mike Zunino. It's kind of shocking with Tampa Bay being one of the better teams in baseball, only getting one representative. I think the biggest snub, I'll get to a couple of them, so one of them is probably Glass now, but I think that was more of just not having a big enough sample size before he got hurt. Rest of the infield is Altuve. Definitely has been on Altuve and Correa. Houston has the best offense in baseball, so it makes sense. Bo Bichette, Joning Vlad as the two young guys on there. Matt Olson definitely deserves, kind of gets forgotten with Matt Chapman over in Oakland. Jose Ramirez, and then probably the most unsung MLB player who I'll definitely allude to later today, Jared Walsh out of the Angels gets a nomination. And then the outfield, we have Brantley, Cedric Mullins, who I talked about the other day, being probably the guy that will be inserted for Mike Trout in the lineup. And then two Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers, not the best team at all, but they have three All-Stars, getting Joey Gallo and a lesser-known name, Adolis Garcia, who's been fantastic this year. He's cranking dingers left and right and has been pretty electrifying because I think a couple of them have been walk-offs. And then joining JD Martinez at the other DH, the ageless wonder, Nelson Cruz.
Oh, yeah. Just still launching balls out of the park.
Yeah. So, like I said, some of the AL snubs you can probably get to would be maybe Byron Buxton, just because he's been so incredible, but he only played 27 games.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Right. I feel like he needed to get called. He's not going to be an injury replacement just to replace him again.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that won't happen. Exactly.
Yeah, I lose the Glass now. Also, like I said, the Astros have been incredible. So I'm a little shocked that Yuli Gurriel nor Yordan Alvarez, the best offense in the American League, missed it. And I guess if you're going across, maybe some other guys in the infield like Whit Merrifield, Yohan Moncada could have been argued to be in there. But we'll see with some injury replacements, because even like I feel like guys last second will back out. Because I mean, this infield looks pretty healthy at the moment.
I don't think I was just about to say and I was kind of making it up completely. That I'm surprised that I was like, I guess more than three for any team as a position player is a lot. And I realized the Blue Jays have four. They have three guys starting, and then Bichette off the bench. So it's funny because they're not obviously even a first place team, but they got four position players again.
Yeah, that's why, like, even talking about the Red Sox, like spin zoning, like our two kind of like the way our pitching, if you look at it after the spider attack, has actually been the best in the league. I know we got a little scared right after the fact when the rules changed, but then we just had to play the two best offenses in the AL between Houston and Toronto. And this roster is definitely showing that they're the two best offenses in the American League, because they've definitely settled down with some lesser competition. And then also one name who's probably the biggest snub that I'm assuming will be the replacement of Shane Bieber is Chris Bassett out in Oakland. His slider's a frisbee, so he'll probably get on there. And heck, even on that same staff, Sean Manaea could be argued to be an all-star. He was the pitcher of the month in June, but kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start. So
Yeah, I mean, I know too. I mean,
go ahead.
Tough to really argue snubs for. No, that's it. I said tough to really argue snubs for a team that led the league in All Stars, but like I think you can make a case for Verdugo to a certain extent too.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe not quite a snub, but a guy that like yeah, if you like lower the bar a little bit, or if enough guys did kind of back out of the game here, then you see that. But yeah, again, and then I don't know if you wanted to hop over to
and even quickly with Sox, even if they let middle relievers in, the mark that Garrett Whitlock and Josh Taylor have done, definitely been all-star worthy if they're getting enough getting the saves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's a rare one. I feel like you might get a guy or two in every year. Yeah, maybe for each league, because it's like, again, it's such a small sample size that you pretty much put closers in there. But yeah, good.
Yeah, so the all-star reserves, we'll stick first. We'll actually stick with the offense. I know we had pitchers last time first, but I'm going to go to offense first for the NL. Beyond the plate, we have JT Realmuto, and then the infield, we're rocking with Max Muncy at first, the guy who I think should be starting the All-Star game, but he got his bid. It's all really matters. Ozzy Albies, and then let's give a shout out to these two guys at the middle. One getting an all-star, we don't really expect it because of his age being on the older side, would be Brandon Crawford, because he's been having a nice little resurgence out there with those first place Giants. And then sticking in the NL West with Jake Cronenworth. I know that's one of your boys.
My guy, former Bird, former Orleans Firebird.
Yeah, and then rounding up the infield at the third base is Chris Bryant, and then Eduardo Escobar being the lone D-back representative. Oh, and then missed a guy. There's no rhyme or reason in order here. It's kind of jumping over the place. Trey Turner, also definitely worth their shortstop. Yeah, it goes from catcher, second base, third base, shortstop, second base, third base, first base, shortstop. Like,
what are you reading this on?
MLB.com.
I'm on ESPN. It's a little bit more in order.
Yeah. And then
it's more in order, but they weirdly have. Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's in order, but they weirdly go from third base Chris Bryant, shortstop Brandon Crawford, shortstop Trey Turner, third base Eduardo Escobar. So I don't know why they did that, but otherwise in order.
Yeah. And outfield we got Mookie, even if I was down here, is still all-star worthy, just now a reserve. Brian Reynolds, Kyle Schwarber, who again will need to get replaced by someone. Juan Soto, and Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor, like I said, definitely deserving of it. Let me see. I think they got that offense pretty set. I guess you can maybe argue with sticking it out in LA that Justin Turner and Manny Machado could have been offered some spots out there in the offensive side, but I'm not really going to complain too much because I feel like these guys, like, it's third base and you're going to D-back, and Eduardo Escobar has been playing the best for the worst team in baseball, so that's just the way it is sometimes. So third base is just a little crowded.
Yeah. And
flipping the switch to the pitching staff, we have two Milwaukee Brewers and Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns. Of course, Jacob deGrom, Yu Darvish, they've both been incredible. Kevin Gossman, who's been really good at kind of a journeyman starter, has been really found his home in San Francisco this year. Herman Marquez, wouldn't be shocked if he's one of like the main arms out in Colorado. He'll get traded at the deadline. Zach Wheeler, who's having a great season in Philadelphia, and eventually the Mets had him and deGrom.
Yeah, jeez.
And then, not to be confused with his brother Taylor, who is the closer out of Minnesota, Trevor Rogers is the Marlins representative. Definitely not just getting in because he's in the Marlins, definitely having a great year out there. So shout out to him. And then in the bullpen, we have Josh Hader, Craig Kimbrell, Mark Melanson, and Alex Reyes.
And then I just had a couple notes here. DeGrom said he's not going to play.
Yeah, that's probably the better. Who knows? Maybe they'll add Edwin Diaz because he's having a kind of.
He was trying. Yeah, no, DeGrom was trying to campaign for Tawan Walker to get on the staff.
Oh yeah, he's having a good year.
That's his personal endorsement.
Yeah, and then
it stinks. I totally understand it, but it's just like, I feel like we could have had like maybe even like a Pedro-esque inning if he went at it, just like he's been so insane this year. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like between like Wheeler, Darvish, and the two guys out in Milwaukee, you'll have a good start. And then I think there should be a third guy. Freddie Peralta has like the best DRA across the three of them. Yeah, he has a 2.23. and he has a high K per 9. He's
Mhm.
been kind of one of those underrated pitchers because you kind of forget him out of as the number 3 out there. And heck, even Mad Max, just because he's always so consistent.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
the NL pitching is so deep this year compared to the American League.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I know, yeah, because this thing too, like when, yeah, like we were talking about Uvalde, like, yeah, like, oh, did he really? And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, no one else is really here, so yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
um, yeah, and then also, I think I have a pretty updated list here for the home run derby. I think we might still be missing, we might have one spot empty unless I missed something here,
Eighth person came in,
because
so
I have the latest participant. The eighth person just came in.
I
Okay,
think so.
fine. Fill in the blank after. Yeah, well, because I have a list here, and then actually I might be an idiot. I might be because it's an article, so like it's about one person, and then they list 7. So I think I actually do have everyone. Yeah, so Joey Gallo.
Yeah,
Um,
last member.
seems like he was the latest one to join it. I know Soto. Yeah, I know Soto joined today as well. So they were kind of the 2 last ones in. We also have Otani, Trevor Story, Pete Alonso, Trey Mancini, Matt Olson, and Salvador Perez. So pretty good field, all things considered. Good to see Mancini back in there. That's awesome after obviously everything he's gone through. Otani's going to be the big name there. Story obviously can hit bombs. We talked about Matt Olson before. Alonso, obviously the reigning champ from 2019. So yeah, I think we have pretty good field there, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, like usually, like because I remember we both did it back in Bet on it in 2019. We were both like, oh, we kind of love Alonso, and we both just had a feeling, and it worked. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like you owed me a lot of money that weekend just because we were after the 4th of July, and like I covered like everything. So instead, you're like, okay, I'm even now.
yeah,
But now I'm just like looking at
yeah.
this list,
No,
and
it
like
was awesome.
I can talk myself into anyone. Like, okay, like Alonso's won this before. Trevor Story being kind
Mhm.
of could be doing like a Bryce Harper thing on Colorado because I know his contract's up at the end of the year. Otani just because he's just
Yeah, yeah.
not a human being. Trey Mancini, the story coming back from cancer, and then of course like Matt Olson is just like one of my favorite players. So
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then I'm just forgetting Juan Soto.
Perez might be the one that I don't. Yeah,
Well, I feel like he's
it'd
the
be
guy.
so interesting. I would love for Perez one, but
Yeah, I feel like he'll be the guy that like, okay, he's not going to win, so like you don't even think about him winning, but then he'll like beat the guy you bet on in the first round, and then just lose in the second round. And be like,
he'll
oh,
make the final. Yeah, or yeah, yeah. But yeah, so
yeah.
pretty
I
good
think I'm more
field
excited for
there.
that than the actual game. Well, not that I'm not excited for the game, but
The game, the might be the best part about the game is that like it's especially in the most recent years. I feel like it's like as long as it doesn't go to extra, it's like a 2 hour, 15-minute game.
yeah,
It's like the pitchers dominate. Um, maybe not this year again, especially in the AL. This might be the NL wins it just because I don't know if the AL has the pitching, but we'll see.
the
Obviously,
cores and
um,
those boppers in the AL might be able to use some of the elements to their favor.
that's true. So is it still going to be the same setup? Is it going to be Cash and Roberts or as managers?
I don't know. Can't
I would
confirm.
assume so, but who knows?
Yeah, can't confirm or deny.
Can't confirm it. All right, yeah, we'll put that on ice. We'll come visit it next time. But all right, let's take a look here. Also, we're getting a weird, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Actually, I think it's going to work out well because of just the spacing out of it. But I was going to say, usually you don't have to worry about this. The NBA Finals interfering with All Star Week, and I think because they're going to play Sunday, Wednesday, right? So I guess that'll kind of avoid everything there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think then they made like the
So
SBs like the Saturday night. So
they are, yeah. It's on ABC on Saturday night, which I guess I don't hate, but not that I've really watched in the last few years anyway. But that'll be interesting. We'll have to figure out a new
Captain
schedule because
America's
I was
opening.
like not recording on. Oh yeah, is that right? Wait. Oh, it's Anthony Mackie, right? I was like, wait, which one? Yeah. So we'll have to figure out a schedule there, Mike, because I've liked kind of just not recording during the finals game, so we might have to that week. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But yeah, all right. So I think that wraps up the All-Star portion of it. I don't know if you want to get deeper into any MLB. I know that the Sox had a bit of a rough series out here in Anaheim.
Yeah, so I mean, nothing really too big or too consequential because I know when we kind of have like those like week layoffs I get really into, but it's only a couple days, like just a couple series and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
No, I just wanted to highlight that really for the Sox.
yeah. So we did end up taking 2 out of 3 in Oakland. Great game by the Canadian Nick
Right, exactly.
on the 4th of July, going 7 strong, striking out 10 with a pitching against Caprillion. That game actually had 0 RBIs because the only run was a in from the back door double play.
Mm,
But yeah, nothing
that's
too
actually
wild
hilarious.
across the MLB. Just a very one side note before I get in the Sox. A very weird postpone in Tampa Bay yesterday.
In Tampa Bay?
Yeah, just because of the hurricane. I think
What happened to that stupid roof break? Oh, my
the
bad.
hurricane. They just didn't want people to come. Um,
No, that's fair. It's very fair. Sorry,
yeah,
I just hate the Trop so much.
yeah. So they had a doubleheader today, and the second one they had a combined 7 inning no hitter. Talk about something that's very meaningless.
Oh yeah, it's like a cool, sick. You got hot for a little bit. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think the biggest storyline in baseball to be watching right now is to see if the Chicago Cubs can win a baseball game. Since their
I don't think they can.
combined no hitter in LA, when they ran into the buzzsaw that Michael Hooley at Dodger Stadium, they've lost 11 straight
I
baseball.
was about to say, have you just like sent both these teams into like a whirlwind?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Dodgers are
It completely reversed the luck.
yeah, I mean they were on fire, and then I mentioned it last Sun, like they're on fire, and then I think they beat the Nats, and then they've kind of run into a little trouble in Miami this week. I know they're I think they're in extras right bottom of the 8th in a tie game right now. But the Cubs just haven't won since. Especially they got bludgeoned 15-10 last night. And a lot of that 10 was a backdoor. Like hobby baseball just don't always can't hit in 2 home runs. But yeah, they're pretty dead right now. They're decidedly not back. The heck, they're up 6-3, but it's only a 6 inning. So a lot can happen there.
Yeah.
So yeah, like some pretty.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm just looking across some box scores, like trying to like some mad notes, like Brewers and Mets split a doubleheader. Tigers, Rangers, who really cares about that? Like Rockies, D-backs, again, who really cares about that? Astros and A's, that's a pretty pivotal series out in Houston between the two guys at the top, I believe. Yeah, the Astros took game 1 yesterday. They're tied 3-3, and the game 3 is tomorrow. So that's probably the biggest series when it comes to divisional matchups. And then the funniest note, lastly, before I get into the Red Sox, is Nick Castellanos did it again.
Oh my God, he's ruthless. He doesn't care what you're announcing. It could be just, admitting a horrendous mistake made. In this case, a war veteran dying. And yeah, just directly after the announcement of the broadcast, just rips someone out of the yard. Like
I think the best
actually
part is it's always a deep drive to left in Kansas City. He plays for the Reds. It's an interleague game. I get it last year. Like you played the Centrals played each other, so like he was guaranteed a game last year.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
He's not guaranteed a game in Kansas City this year. So back-to-back years, just one during a serious apology, one during a serious tribute, just incredible. And the fact that his first professional home run when he was in the minor leagues was the same day that Osama bin Laden was killed. It just
I saw that too.
So just Nick Castellanos.
And then did you see? What did you say?
It's just like Nick Castellanos, like what a man.
Oh, okay. I thought you said a nickname. My bad. And then also, did you see? Well, first of all, the great quote that like I want him hitting a home run at my funeral. I thought that was awesome. And then also, did you see Votto did something similar too? So just like the Reds are just ruthless. Like it was like someone like the Fox broadcast team who passed away like 6 years ago, and he like 2 pitches later just like hit a home run. They were still talking about the guy, and like they're hold on, like I feel like the color commentary guy was a little ruthless too. He was just like, "How do you feel about like that home run?" It was like it was like in relation to what the guy said before. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, just something with both Castellanos and the Reds organization that is funny. I did have another baseball note before we wrapped up here, Mike. Can you tell me what today's date is?
7-7, July 7th.
So we have July 7th. Yes. Shohei Ohtani's already broken the single season record for Japanese player home runs with 32. He broke Hideki Matsui's record on July 7th.
Yeah, so that is pretty good transition to ESP. Didn't lose 2 out of 3 in Anaheim. We picked up game
Yes.
1, solid win. I think we're kind of leading the entire time. Whereas going into the series, it's like there's 2 guys that can beat you. There are 2 All-Stars, Shohei Ohtani and Jared Walsh. Yesterday, Shohei Ohtani pitched.
Mm-hmm.
Dealt. He pitched 6 strong innings. He only gave 2 runs. It did get cap-ended by, I forget who their center fielder is, but their center fielder robbing a home run saver. And it kind of, they ended up losing 5-3. Just kind of one of those weird games where nothing really went your way. It just seemed like there were kind of a lot of hard hit balls by the Red Sox and a lot of rinky-dink like bloopers against the Sox by the Angels. So, and then the rubber matchup today, we did have Erod pitching against Andrew Haney, and it was just one of those games where right when we thought the Red Sox were coming back, they just got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
It was 2-2. Ohtani hit a monster home run. And then right after that, back-to-back, Jared Walsh hits a home run. And then they get it up to 4-3. Jared Walsh next time around hits a second home run of the game, 5-3. They were to tie it up to 5-4 with them. After JD tripled, Xander doubled them in. So there's runner on second base, no outs, and they could not get the tying run in. I think it was like a pop-out, strikeout, ground out in the 8th inning. So they ended up dropping 2 out of 3, but and let the All-Stars beat them. So
hey, something well.
But luckily, it was
exactly.
I mean, it's traveling from LA to Boston. I've done it recently, like kind of like losing a day, but it's good. They have the day game today, off game tomorrow, and they can just the Phillies coming into town this weekend, hopefully, because I think they're still still playing Chicago again tomorrow. So
yeah, awesome. All right, yeah, I think the All-Stars were kind of dominating the news. Like you said, only a few days have passed since our last pod here. It's good to catch up on the Red Sox and kind of touch on a few notes in addition to the All-Stars here. I guess we have a few final things to talk about before we wrap up here. I did want to touch on the Euros. That's kind of been what's been happening the last couple of days here. And Mike, is it coming home?
I think it might. Got nice. So the recency game.
It might. I got
England won an extra
day. We kind of, yeah.
Harry Kane, I think he scored 106 minutes.
Yeah.
So a nice 2-1 victory. Great. Shout out to Denmark for getting this far after such a very, very weird and horrible first game. Love the run. And I said I was rooting for the winner of this game, so I'm pulling hard for England because.
Yeah.
But they're definitely got a pretty intense.
Mike, the Italians are going to be mad at you.
Why?
You said you were rooting against them. No.
Like I said, it's like
yeah, these are.
I don't really listen to both part. I listen to part of my take today, but it's like season 4 Peaky Blinders, England versus Italy.
A show that I still have to watch, but yeah, it's funny because there are 2 games that, like, again, I would typically throw on in the background. I only got to catch the tail end just because my work's just been insane this week. But I was able actually to catch the PKs yesterday. I think I tuned in like on the second or third game. They were basically tied when I tuned it in, and then obviously there was the big miss late by Spain, which opened the door for Italy to kind of have to walk off. And then today I caught the end of regular time, then took a break, and then caught the end of extra time. But the goal was kind of crazy to see the crowd. Obviously, them being at Wembley for this game. So again, 2 games that required extra time, and then 1 that actually went to PKs. But just this crowd it's insane, and I don't know. Again, like I said, I like England. It's been so long again, ever since they haven't won a tournament. It was since the World Cup in '66. So you're generations here now that haven't seen any sort of major title for the English national team. So just a great moment there, and it should be a good matchup between them. And then that is on Sunday. Is that like in the mid-afternoon, or is it a little earlier, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's Sunday at 3. I'll confirm that now. if you want to keep talking about something else.
Yeah, because I have this like weird memory of them being like earlier, but I'm almost just because I'm like, well, it's in a different place all the time. I think might even maybe think of like the World Cup in like South Africa or something. So,
Yeah, Sunday at 3.
But yeah, so again, that'll be happening Sunday at 3.
Also,
Okay,
just
perfect.
sticking on soccer, we'll have a nice Brazil Argentina Copa America final on Saturday night as well. So
that really doesn't get as much love. But those are obviously two. I feel like the depth isn't there for the Copa America.
this
Like
was a good
the
semifinal.
the top of it. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
Brazil, Peru, and then Argentina, Colombia. That was Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Peru won this like back
Exactly.
in 16, right?
So,
Or is that Chile?
what was that?
Who won in 16? Was that Peru or
I think
Chile?
it was Chile. I don't know.
It was Chile.
I think it was Chile. Yes, I don't remember Peru being good at all. But
Well, Brazil
yeah, I
beat
mean,
Brazil beat Chile in the
surprised about
quarters
that.
and then beat Peru in the semis. So same difference.
Got
It was the same team.
Got it. Yeah.
Just good. Same team beating them. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
The semis was in the quarters.
Yeah, so we'll have that on Sunday afternoon. Yeah, we'll have that Sunday afternoon. So it should be a good one there. And then I know we had, I think, a couple more things here, Mike. Oh, one thing I do have to say, because we recorded just before this last week, the GOAT did it again. Joey Chestnut knocking down very American or patriotic 76 hot dogs on the 4th of July. So he keeps winning. That's all he does. Again, he had a brief blip on the radar with Matt Stoney. I know he was going through a breakup at the time, so I mean, you got to feel for the guy on that one. But again, continues his streak of just one loss and just establishing himself as the true GOAT.
Mm-hmm. It's just incredible performance. My GOAT.
Yeah.
Let's change that jersey. He was wearing 75. Next year, over at wear 76.
Oh yeah, you got that personal best on the back there. And yeah, I definitely just thinking. I don't think we hit on this last time, Mike, but because I think we recorded during one of the games. But Mississippi State winning the College World Series.
Oh yes. They were able to beat up on Kumar Rocker in Game 3. So it was pretty just incredible offensive performance there. Seems like everyone was pulling for them after Vanderbilt getting by technicality. I mean, I was rooting for hopefully my next starting pitcher and either Lighter or Rocker, but I guess it's nice to see.
Either one of them, yeah.
I guess it is nice to see.
No, for sure. This is like a better story.
Especially if we get Lighter. Be like, hey,
sure.
The one game he pitched, they won, so not his fault.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a note that I wanted to hit on there. We also are in the middle of Wimbledon, Mike. So I saw Federer got knocked out today, and then we were saying Coco got knocked out the other day as well on the women's side. So a little bit of upsets happening.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be the Joker again on the men's side. He's playing a couple guys that I don't think I've ever heard their name before. I'm not the biggest tennis guy, but
right.
Again, and then
yeah, I'm trying to.
I don't know, the women's tennis thing on ESPN is just awful because it's showing me like semifinals and quarterfinals in the same day.
Oh, yeah,
I can't even keep track of what's what for the women's side. Number 1, Barty against Kirby.
Oh yeah, wait, this is.
I've heard both their names, and
this is disgusting. Yeah.
Like, what's this like round 2? I'm like
saying here, but I can't keep up with that. But yeah, even in the men's side, I would be stunned if Joker doesn't take that one home. Not even having Jordan to Federer. So
yeah, I mean, I
was hoping we'll announce that when the winter happens.
I was hoping for a Joker Federer just for old time's sake. I think when I played in like 19, I was kind of pulling for Djokovic, and now I was gonna pull for Federer. But
yeah, what happened to like the other guys? Like what happened to Nadal and like Andy Murray? Andy Murray, I really like.
I saw Andy Murray, and he was like not even ranked. Like, and they keep won the gold medal for England.
He's like called some reporter out.
Yeah, I think he just won that gold for England, and it's kind of just been coasting.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums that up. I'm trying to think anything else. Any other notes? Did you have anything on your list here?
Covered it all.
Covered it all. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We obviously have the Olympics coming up. We kind of spoke about Sha'Carri Richardson situation. She won't be running, which is obviously a shame that she won't be on the relay team there. Just again, complete joke of a system there. We had the, I don't know, just absolutely that stinks. But again, excited for the Olympics to happen there, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm excited. This week kind of snuck up on me that I'm excited that next week's like the Derby and the All Star Game is something that I still kind of have a lot of nostalgia for. So those will be fun to watch. Again, hopefully we'll be on at some point this weekend to kind of talk about the latest NBA games, see anything else that's kind of happened between now and then. Again, I'm either going to be covering that guy with the blonde hair and the gloves. He's shining it up now. It looks like Tampa could be on their way to taking home their back-to-back title here. So I'm trying to see what the score. Okay, 1-0 with 5:53 left. So anything crazy happens, we'll have this heading as back-to-back champs here in 2021 in front of their home crowd. So I think that's pretty much all I had for now. And you said again, you think we covered it all. So if that's it, then we can sign up for tonight, and we'll see you guys in over the weekend.
Later.